The stars hung quietly in the black sky above Virion's outer orbit. Commander Marcus Rain stood on the command deck of the ISS Valor, the flagship of the Sol Imperial Navy. His sharp eyes scanned the holographic display in front of him. "Commander," said Lieutenant Mira, her voice steady but tense. "We've picked up an unidentified signal from the old sector near the dead moons." Marcus looked closer. The signal was faint but steady, pulsing like a heartbeat. "Is it a distress call?" he asked. "No, sir," she replied. "It's coded, Council frequency." The room fell silent. Marcus's jaw tightened. After all these years, they had trained for this. The Sol Empire had grown in secret, hidden from the eyes of the Galactic Council. Humanity had been exiled, thrown out of the core system centuries ago. Earth was gone, but they had survived. And now, it seemed, the Council had found them. "Send a recon drone," Marcus ordered. "Full stealth mode. I want eyes on the source." "Yes, Commander." The drone shot off into space like a silent arrow. Minutes passed, each second heavy with silence. Then the data came back. The hologram lit up. A small metallic object drifted near the broken moon. Council markings were clear, etched deep into the metal. A probe, new, active, watching. Marcus stared at it. "They found us," he said quietly. "Should we destroy it?" Mira asked. "No, not yet." Marcus shook his head. "Let them wonder if we saw it. If we move too fast, we'll show our hand." He turned and faced his crew. "Send a coded message to High Command. Level red. The Council knows." The crew nodded, moving fast and silent. They understood the weight of his words. Marcus stepped away from the console and looked out the wide glass window into space. Stars shimmered, peaceful and cold. "We've come so far," he whispered. "We're not going back." Behind him, the lights of the ship glowed softly. The signal continued to blink. The grand hall of the Sol Command Center on Virion Prime was quiet, dimly lit by the glow of old Earth lamps. Commander Marcus Rain walked slowly down the center aisle, his boots echoing against the polished metal floor. On each side of the hall, flags from lost colonies and forgotten ships hung like ghosts from the past. He paused before the wall of names, a memorial etched with thousands of names, men, women, and children, who had died during Earth's fall. He placed his hand gently on the name of his great-grandfather, Captain Elias Rain, lost during the Exodus. Mira stood a few steps behind him. "They're waiting in the war chamber, sir." Marcus nodded. "Let them wait a moment longer." He closed his eyes. He could almost hear the firestorms of Earth's final day, feel the shaking of the old ships as they escaped through the burning sky. Humanity hadn't just been defeated. It had been cast out, labeled dangerous by the Galactic Council, criminals of war, unfit for the galaxy. But they didn't die. They drifted through cold space, survived on scraps, rebuilt from ruin, and after generations of silence, they had formed the Sol Empire, strong, hidden, and united. Now the shadows of the past had returned. Inside the war chamber, the leaders of the Sol Empire sat around a large circular table. Holograms of star systems floated above them. "Commander Rain," said High Chancellor Leona Voss. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp. "Tell us." Marcus stood tall. "A council probe has entered our space. It's active. It knows we're here." A low murmur spread through the room. "Are we sure it's from the council?" asked Admiral Thorne. "Yes," Marcus replied. "Same signature as the ones from the old records. They're watching us, and they're close." Voss leaned forward. "Then we must prepare." "They will not talk," Thorne said. "They will demand we kneel, or they will strike." Marcus remained silent for a moment, then spoke clearly. "We don't kneel, but we don't rush to war either. We've built this empire with care. We won't lose it to fear." A quiet agreement spread through the chamber. They all knew what was coming. The past was reaching for them, and soon, the council would speak. Far away, in the shining capital of the Galactic Council, Chancellor Vale Thorin sat on a floating platform, above the great hall of alien delegates. "Humans have broken their exile," he said, his voice cold and commanding. They build fleets, colonies, weapons. They have not changed. They will rise again, and they will bring war with them. One of the delegates, a blue-skinned diplomat from the Varan species, raised a hand. Perhaps they deserve a chance. We exiled them long ago. Vale narrowed his eyes. We exiled them for a reason. If we wait, we may not get a second chance. The council chamber grew silent. Prepare the fleet, Vale ordered. We will remind them of their place. Back on Varian, Marcus stood on a balcony, staring up at the night sky. His reflection shimmered in the glass. They think we're still broken, he whispered. He clenched his fist. They'll see who we've become. The sun rose over Varian Prime, casting a soft golden light on the towers of the capital city. Ships buzzed through the skyways, and the streets below bustled with life. But inside the Sol Command Center, the air was heavy with tension. Commander Marcus Rain entered the high-level strategy room. A circular table stood in the center, its surface covered with glowing star maps and real-time fleet movements. Around it sat the Empire's top military and political leaders. Chancellor Leona Voss stood. We now know the truth. The Council has found us. The question is, what do we do? The room fell silent. General Thorne broke the silence. We strike first. If they're watching us, we show them our strength. Let them know we won't be pushed. A few heads nodded in agreement. Marcus didn't. No, Marcus said firmly. We don't start a war. Not yet. General Thorne frowned. So we wait. Let them prepare while we stand still. Marcus looked at the hologram of the Council probe. We hold the line, defend our systems, but we don't fire the first shot. The galaxy still sees us as the enemy. We can't prove them right. Chancellor Voss tapped the table. A new image appeared. A message encrypted with ancient alien symbols. We've reached out to old contacts, she said. A few alien factions have doubts about the Council. They may be willing to talk. Marcus leaned forward. We need allies. If we stand alone, we'll fall. But if others speak for us, the Council may listen. Later that day, Marcus sat in a dark room, speaking through a secure hololink with an alien diplomat. The creature had soft green skin, eyes like glowing stones, and a voice that echoed with emotion. You ask for peace, the diplomat said. But your people are feared. We were feared, Marcus replied. That was centuries ago. We've changed. Will your people fight again? Marcus didn't answer right away. Then he spoke with quiet strength. Only if we're forced to. The diplomat studied him. I will bring your words to my council. But beware, others will not listen. The screen went dark. That night, Marcus stood alone on the observation deck of the ISS Valor. Below, the planet turned slowly, peaceful, and unaware of what was coming. Mira approached, carrying a data tablet. Sir, the Council fleet is on the move. They've launched scout ships from 3 sectors. Marcus stared into the stars. They're drawing the line. She nodded. And if we cross it? He finished the sentence for her. They'll come in force. Marcus took a deep breath. Then we don't cross it, but we hold our ground. Every inch of it. In the Council's war chamber, Chancellor Vol stood before a massive map of the outer sectors. Red marks blinked over the Varian system. We give them one warning, he said. One chance to surrender and dismantle their empire. If they refuse, he looked around the chamber. We end them. Back on Varian Prime, Marcus stood before the Sol High Council. They are coming, he said. We must be ready, but not to attack, to endure. We hold the line, not because we're afraid, but because we believe in who we've become. The room stood silent for a moment. Then Chancellor Voss nodded. Let it be known, the Empire of Sol will not fall. The blackness of space stretched endlessly beyond the Varian system. Stars twinkled quietly, unaware of the danger drawing near. On the edge of Sol territory, just beyond the shadow of a gas giant, a Sol border patrol ship drifted on silent watch. Inside the control room, alarms flared. Unidentified vessels approaching, the officer shouted. 3 small ships, Council design, fast scouts. Commander Marcus Rain received the alert aboard the ISS Valor, still in orbit around Virion Prime. He responded without hesitation. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered. "I'll lead the intercept mission myself." Within minutes, Marcus was aboard a sleek strike cruiser, flanked by 2 escort ships. Engines roared to life, and the squad jumped to the border. The Council scouts were fast, weaving through asteroid fields and space debris. But they weren't just scanning. They were testing defenses, flying dangerously close to Sol outposts. "They're not here by accident," Marcus said to his crew. "They're watching how we react." The Sol cruisers moved into position, boxing the scouts in. "Hail them," Marcus ordered. The comms officer tried. "No response, sir." "Then we show them we're not afraid." The Sol ships powered up their weapons but didn't fire. The message was clear. "We see you and we're ready." One of the Council scouts suddenly accelerated toward a Sol mining station. It ignored warnings. It crossed the line. "Target has locked weapons," Mira said, her voice sharp. "They're going to fire." "Engage," Marcus said. The battle began. The fight was fast and brutal. The Council scouts were quick, their movements sharp and precise, but they underestimated the strength of Sol's new ships. Within minutes, 1 scout was disabled, another destroyed, and the third trapped in a gravity net. Marcus ordered the disabled ship boarded. His soldiers moved in, cutting through the hull. Inside they found something unexpected, a live Council officer injured, but conscious. "Secure him," Marcus said, "and bring him aboard the Valor." Later in the med bay of the Valor, Marcus stood over the alien prisoner. The officer was tall, with smooth silver skin and glowing blue eyes. His voice was weak but clear. "You are not what we expected," he said. Marcus leaned in. "Neither are you." The officer coughed. "Chancellor Val will not stop. He fears you. He believes he must destroy you before you rise again." Marcus's jaw tightened. So this wasn't a scout mission. It was a test. The officer nodded. "And now he will come." Back on Virion Prime, Marcus stood before the Sol High Council once more. "We've captured a Council officer," he said. He confirmed what we feared. "Val wants war, not justice, not peace, war." The room grew tense. Chancellor Val spoke first. "Then we prepare. But we still do not strike first." Marcus nodded. "Let the galaxy see. We will not start the fire. But we will survive it." Outside, fleets gathered, shields powered up, and the stars grew just a little quieter, waiting. The war drums were silent, but everyone could feel the pressure building. On Virion Prime, the skies above the capital city shimmered with the glow of shield fields. Sol ships patrolled the upper atmosphere, engines humming like distant thunder. Inside the Imperial Citadel, Commander Marcus Rain walked alone through the Hall of Memory. The walls were lined with artifacts from Earth, old photos, broken tools, medals from long-forgotten wars. In the center stood a large, cracked globe of Earth, half buried in dust. He stopped in front of it and placed his hand gently on the faded surface. "This is where it all began," he whispered. A voice echoed behind him. "And where it nearly ended." Marcus turned. An older man approached, dressed in a long black coat, marked with the emblem of the First Exodus Fleet. "Admiral Saren," Marcus greeted. "Didn't know you were back." The old admiral nodded. "Got here 2 days ago. Just in time to watch history repeat itself." They stood in silence for a moment. "I read your report," Saren said. "You spared the Council officer. That was a choice." "I had to know what we were facing," Marcus replied. He confirmed everything. "Vale wants to erase us." Saren crossed his arms. "Then why haven't we hit them first?" "Because we're not them," Marcus said. "We've changed." Saren studied him. "Have we? Or are we just pretending? You think the galaxy cares that we didn't fire the first shot?" "No," Marcus said. "But I do, and our people will." That night, Marcus returned to his quarters. He stood by the window watching the stars. His thoughts were heavy. He remembered the first time he flew a fighter ship, The stories his mother told him about Earth, and the long nights training in the frozen wastes of Virian's northern moons. Every step, every sacrifice, had led to this moment. Now he was facing a war that could end everything. He opened a secure channel and recorded a message to the people of the Soul Empire. I do not promise you peace. I cannot. But I promise you this. We will not be the villains they fear. We will stand with honor. And we will fight only if we must. We are not the past. We are the future. He ended the message and sent it across the empire. At the outer defense ring, Mira stood on the bridge of her ship, listening to the broadcast. Around her, other officers did the same. In mining stations, colony domes, spaceports and farming moons, everywhere, people listened. And slowly fear turned into resolve. Back in the council's inner chamber, Chancellor Vale Thorin watched the same message on a flickering display. His face remained still. Foolish words, he said. But powerful, we must move quickly. He turned to his generals. Begin the assault. We end this now. Marcus stood once more on the deck of the ISS Valor. Before him stretched the vastness of space. Behind him, the entire Soul Fleet gathered. Ready, waiting, steady. He stared into the stars. This is our line, he said softly. And we don't step back. The silence before the storm had ended. The stars above Virion were no longer calm. They burned brighter now, filled with ships, weapons, and war. The Galactic Council fleet had arrived. Hundreds of ships, sleek, silver and deadly, lined the outer rim of Sol space. Massive capital vessels drifted like giants, each one armed with enough firepower to destroy a planet. On the other side, the Soul Empire stood ready. Their ships were fewer, older, but built strong and sharp. They had fought through exile, hunger and silence. Now they would fight to survive. Commander Marcus Rain stood on the bridge of the ISS Valor, wearing his dark battle uniform. His crew moved quickly, but silently. No one needed to be told what was at stake. Council fleet is in position, Mira reported. They've locked targeting systems. Marcus nodded. Hold your fire. A moment later, a deep, cold voice came through the comms. This is Chancellor Vale Thorin of the Galactic Council. You are in violation of intergalactic law. Disband your forces. Surrender now. There will be no second offer. Marcus stepped forward, calm and steady. This is Commander Marcus Rain of the Soul Empire. We will not surrender. We will not run. But we do not seek war. There was a pause, then silence. Then, they fired. The sky exploded. Beams of plasma tore through the void. Shields flared. Metal screamed. The Council fleet advanced like a wave, methodical and cold. Marcus shouted orders. All ships, defensive pattern. Draw them into the asteroid field. Soul ships peeled off in formation, weaving between ancient rocks and debris. The Council followed, but their large vessels struggled in the tight space. This is where we turn it, Marcus said. Hidden mines planted weeks earlier detonated, ripping through enemy cruisers. Soul fighters swarmed from the shadows, hitting fast, then vanishing. Inside the heart of the battle, the Valor charged toward the Council flagship. Its sleek hull glowed with energy as it dodged incoming fire. Targeting their command systems, Mira said. Almost in range. Fire EMP torpedoes, Marcus ordered. A volley launched from the Valor, streaking across space. The torpedoes struck the enemy flagship, releasing a silent wave of disruption. Lights across the Council ship flickered. Systems failed. Their engines slowed. Marcus opened a direct channel. Chancellor Vale, stand down. You're defeated. On the Council flagship, Vale stood frozen, surrounded by darkness and broken systems. His crew looked to him for orders, but he said nothing. He had never imagined the humans could fight like this, with precision, control, and restraint. He activated a backup channel. This isn't over. Back on the Valor, Mira turned to Marcus. They're pulling back. The Council fleet is retreating. Cheers erupted across the Sol ships, but Marcus didn't smile. He walked to the wide glass window and looked out at the damage. So many ships, burning, broken, gone. We won the battle, he said. But the war for peace is still ahead. Later, in a public broadcast to the galaxy, Marcus stood in full uniform, firm and proud. To all worlds, to all people, today the Sol Empire defended itself, not for conquest, not for revenge, but for the right to live free. We will not hide any longer, but we will not be the threat they fear. His voice echoed across space. We will be better than our past. We choose our own future. The smoke of battle had faded. The stars above Virion were calm once more. Wreckage drifted silently through space. Broken ships, shattered metal, and the remains of a fight that could have ended an entire civilization. But humanity had survived. Commander Marcus Rain stood in the Sol Council Hall, wearing a black uniform marked with silver lines, the colors of remembrance. The room was filled with leaders, soldiers, scientists, and citizens. All eyes were on him. Chancellor Leona Voss stepped forward. "Marcus," she said softly, "you gave us more than victory. You gave us a voice." He nodded, though his face remained serious. "Many paid the price for that voice." She touched his shoulder. "And now the galaxy listens." The message sent after the battle had reached far beyond the Solps Empire. Some alien species, once silent, now began to speak. The Viren Council offered talks. The Solara sent aid ships to help repair Virion's outer stations. Even small factions inside the Galactic Council began to question Vale's actions. Change was slow, but it had begun. Marcus visited the ruins of an old Earth colony on Virion's second moon. It was a small outpost, mostly collapsed buildings and dry air. But in the center stood a statue, a tall figure in armor, holding a torch. The plaque read, "For those who believed we could rise again." He stood there in silence. Mira joined him, her uniform dusty from the wind. "You think they'll leave us alone now?" she asked. "No," Marcus replied. "But they'll think twice, and maybe they'll talk instead of fire." She looked up at the statue. "What now?" He turned toward the stars. "We rebuild, we open our gates, and we lead. Not with power, but with purpose." Later that day, Marcus returned to the ISS Valor. The ship was being repaired, but its core systems still worked. He walked alone to the observation deck. The stars stretched out before him, endless and full of promise. He placed his hand on the glass. "We are not what we were," he whispered. "We are what we choose to become." Behind him, crew members moved with quiet pride. Engineers patched walls. Pilots reviewed new missions. The Sol Empire was alive and moving forward. A final broadcast was sent across the galaxy. Marcus stood in front of a dark blue flag, with the golden emblem of Sol shining in the center. "To all civilizations, the Sol Empire will not hide. We seek peace, but we will defend our right to exist. Let the past be a lesson, not a chain." He looked straight into the camera. "We are human, and we are here to stay."